technical and too much dominated by science and sports science. That's my view. So what I tend to coach is what works, what I call the art. People all say the art of spin bowling. There's an art to fast bowling as well. It's not set down in black and white what the technical terms of how to bowl faster. And yet, certainly in Australia and lots of other countries, we're teaching people to bowl technically, but not how to get people out. Which hopefully we're doing a lot of work with the academy guys here. Sure, why do we teach technique? What's the purpose of teaching technique? Why do we do that? In any aspect. You know, you did a lot of stuff with Canberra yesterday on batting technique, but why do we spend time as coaches from small players to internationals? Why do we spend time on technique? What's the point of technique?
To achieve...
So we teach them a certain way to let the ball go. Okay?
balance.
How many bowlers have you seen when you've been coaching or even watching TV who bowl with exactly the same action? How many bowlers do you think you've seen with exactly the same action?
Everybody different. Everybody.
So why, if we teach the same technique, is everybody different? It's an art. None of these guys bowl vaguely the same. How many players of Bangladesh bowl vaguely the same? When you look at all the top international bowlers at the moment, who bowls the same? You got Lasith Malinga, Brett Lee, eyes on the target, all the fundamentals that you guys know. But to let each player do it how they do it. So if you're teaching technique to somebody, what would be the one fundamental that you've got to get right? What's the one thing of all those different techniques?
Hip and shoulder. Hip and shoulder.
Yeah, okay. Hip and shoulder. Show us. That is the one thing. We don't teach people to bowl like that. We teach you to bowl so they release. So if you're Curtly Ambrose, Malcolm Marshall, Capel Dev, Brett Lee, Sean Tate, Lassie Malinga, that's the same. So that's the most important thing. Right? Thank you. They throw you that. You know how much that costs? That's $90. What's that? 9,763, 6,000 tacker or something. It's a valuable piece of equipment. An incredibly valuable piece of equipment. I've been already asked, and then I get this question asked, probably the most I get asked is how do you bowl reverse swing? I've already been asked that this morning. Why would you want to, can that go reverse? Say what you think, gentlemen, does that go reverse?
No.
No, it's a brand new, it's new ball swing as opposed to old ball swing. And one thing I think in world cricket at lots of levels is everybody's forgotten about new ball swing and they all want to bowl reverse. So what do they do? What do the fieldsmen do when they get the ball in the first over? As I say, it doesn't matter if it hurts to do Malinga. You're there, or you're Ishan Sharma, you want that as a good a condition as possible. So why do we want that in as good a condition as possible? What are we trying to do? There's limited over cricket, I'm not too sure. But I don't want to bowl a cross seam with that. Why don't I want to bowl a cross seam with a brand new ball? Why? This is what you've got to tell these guys when they ask. Why don't you bowl a brand new ball across the seam?
Because they will not swing. And
why won't it swing?
You want the ball to swing.
Yeah, but why won't it swing? Let's go to I bowl that across the seam, what happens?
Control, it will go slowly. It will return.
Yeah, what happened to the ball?
It will do damage.
Yeah, it will do damage.
It will become rough.
Yeah. And if you damage your shiny side, the chances of swing decrease. So while the ball's new, you don't really want to bowl across the seam. You just want to keep hitting around here.
On the seam.
In swing, out swing. And eventually you'll get hit, you'll hit the boundary, you'll hit it, it'll get roughed up. And then we'll teach your players to shine it and teach them to get the seam precise. Not, once again, the good thing, we've had these turf balls, and we've only been using turf, any regulations, have we? Sort of, perhaps, so we're nearly using these all the time.
Not different.
But these are the top, these are the top quality ball, okay? And normally, so they don't swing a hell of a lot in Australia, but here, we've got our bowlers, our Kiwi bowlers, swinging it pretty well. Would that be a fair comment? There's lots of swinging. Our left armers are swinging it in, our right armers are swinging it both ways. So they're shining this up and keeping it in good condition and getting the seam in the right spot. They're actually swinging it 10, 20 overs at least. So you can do it. You can do it. I think the other thing is the SG ball is more the game. But if the ball's going straight, I don't care if you're bowling fast and straight, you're much less chance of getting a wicket. So swinging the new ball is very important. The SG balls, I think they're great to bowl with. Even if the wickets are flat. These will shine up, but these will also go reverse later on. So the ball matters, the wrist matters. Or skidder. Alright? And then you can just do it over the top. You just go through the steps. And they can see it. Then if one do this, we're going to go a little bit open at the top. Okay? So that's just a really simple thing. And sometimes in a game, if the bowler's bowling and he's lost the swing and the seam, he can just do that to mid off, be walking back. I just do a couple, you know? It's a really simple, easy thing to do, but it's the most important thing in the game. Right. What was that? Everyone watching? Playing a backspin. Why do we do that down the back of the ball? Why do we go down the back?
Like a paintbrush.
Like what?
Brush. Paintbrush. Painting.
Very nice.
Painting.
Very nice. If we bowl 140 k's an hour, how much pace comes out of that? What do you think? What's that? Oh yeah, you've been listening. Yeah, that's that. Very good. Yeah, it's about 10%. So it's the difference between bowling 126 and 140. So we want, maximum wrist flexion, maximum wrist stability, all that adds up to the extra pace. Now who have we got in the academy? Who's got, right, and name me somebody in world cricket who's very successful, who's got a great wrist and never looks at the target. Got the worst head position and the best wrist. I think he's certainly got over 200 test wickets. He's still playing. What are we going to do with the rest of that to help him do it? What else do we need to do? Come on, you coaches, you do this stuff. Take it, come on, up here. You've been listening. How do I lose pace? Right, this is my target to the right hander. Right, and that's my target to the left. So my body's in the same relative position. As opposed to here, he's actually going to try and bowl. You've got a bit, this is different. This is open to swing. Why do we get open? Why do we do it? Why get a little bit open? Why?
Because of push the ball in.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
Make room for the arm.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I don't like the term push. I'd rather people bowl it because the push might swing, but you still got to bowl the thing. But you're right. You got to make room. If I'm here and I try to bowl, if I get side on and try to bowl there, it's quite difficult. For most people, not all people, most people get. So what I'm really doing is just getting it open to my shoulder comes round and I can bowl it there. That's why we do it. Yeah. Anywhere, but if it gets close, we only have to swing it a little bit. Yeah, that's a very good answer. So it goes down and away. It doesn't have to come in and away. It doesn't have to swing this much. It's only got to swing this much. So okay. Well, further on that track, why else would we be close to the stumps?
For small swings.
Small swings?
Leg swings.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Is it a ball to the wicket, line of the wicket?
Yeah, we hit the wicket.
Line of the wicket, then batsman will come to play.
Yeah.
If it is a little bit swing, it will be.
We're going to go straight to cutters and reverse. That's what I'm thinking. Because I've been to Pakistan, I've been to India, and you think, You know, dry grass. The wicket out here at the academy is fantastic to learn cricket on. Fantastic to learn your cricket on. But also, next thing you know, we've got Kookaburra turfs. They're going, oh, they don't swing that much. But the guys have swung it new, and they've also shined it up and worked hard at the ball. And as soon as a fieldsman sort of thrown a bat, they're in trouble. So we've encouraged, keep the ball up. Everybody's got to shine. And it's become a habit with these guys. You see them in the indoors here, they're doing this. I think ball maintenance, people say, oh, the ball's not swinging, throw it on the ground, get it reversed. Therefore it doesn't swing. No one looks after the ball.
And obviously they have purposefully so that
You have to take care of it.
That's also a challenge, isn't it? I mean, you've got to get the ball, the guy mid off or mid on to do the shining because if it's wet, you can't shine. Wet balls are not good. So you've got to give it to somebody else to do.
It's not necessary.
Can come over land it. You know, it's right out there. It's the same action. So they're all variations on the theme. So we're trying to teach. Oh, you know, you got the one a bit like you can bowl back in the grip and come down seam up. This is one. Who's bowling? Brett Lee's bowling it well. Who else? There's someone on the fingers for maximum. Instead of let it go with our fingertips, we actually let it go with our joints. So we actually let it go back in there, and it came out slow, but the seam's still up. Now that's actually quite, if the ball is swinging, the seam comes up and it's 15k slow. It's actually quite a good one. But it takes, to learn that release, it takes practice. And he's got the off, it's an off spinner, isn't it? It's like he bowls, it's great because he bowls seam up from there. And this is wicket to wicket, isn't it? It's middle to middle.
Absolutely.
And it's fantastic stuff. But he'll bowl new ball swing with the seam up. And then he just bowls either off, it's more off spinner than off cutter. That's going to catch from here. Like he bowls that one, it almost looks the same to the batsman because his arm's out here. And then he bowls reverse, which will be seam up like that. So it'll go in, it'll be that one, or a body of bouncer. And it's 145 plus. Head practice, people bowling no balls. What do you do?
Rectify them.
Rectify them? Very tricky business. I have found a little shorter delivery strike. Over the years, of all the things I've tried, that's been the most successful. Not moving your run up back. What happens? People start their run ups often like this. Like the first few steps up, they get themselves going and they take really big strides. Or much bigger than their running strides. You need them to take shorter. Same a number of strides. Now that's by a big run up. You guys who deal with bowls all the time, you might have some other little things you might want to add. But for me, after doing this for years and years, it actually makes someone's run up a little bit shorter and make them take shorter steps. Run up here, not big strides. Run up here, get up, not along. We also understand that because it's worth saying questions because we'll wander off in all directions, which is good because we've got heaps to talk about. Right, so you've got questions. Now it's always explained to me. Somewhere between playing forward and playing back, so back to our other conversations this morning, we wanted to see them, we want to put them in two minds. You know, the hard people to bowl to in cricket are the guys who play a long way forward, they play a long way back. They're the hard guys to bowl to, not the guys who play a little bit and get caught on the crease. They're the easy guys to bowl to. Ricky Ponting started. Okay, yeah, well, depending on how much, yeah, but whatever, pick a spot.
Yes.
Pick a spot. Then I also probably add something like, right, if it swings what we think is a normal amount, we hit off stump. If it swings more,
Depends on swing.
Yeah.
Depends on swing.
it depends.
Yeah.
Or everything depends. But I don't want you giving people free hits on a leg stump.
Right.
So therefore, if it swings a lot, I want to hit an off stump. If it doesn't, I still want it in this zone.
So fuller.
No fuller.
Good length.
Good,
But what's it? It all depends. If the ball's swinging this far, where do we bowl? Yeah, we bowl very full. The ball's seaming all over the place. Where we bowl? We bowl fuller. Because the good length changes when the ball moves more.